Alrighty, so good afternoon, and it is Tuesday, 2 p.m., and we are live, streaming live. And today we're going to be looking at how to help your child enhance their academic performance. Yes, 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 yes. And by the way, I am wearing a t-shirt by the parents today. Nasako, thank you so much again. Yes, it was part of my birthday gifts. It says our VC is a legend. Thank you so much for this t-shirt. Thank you again for joining me. We are going to be having a blast today. And again, thank you so much, everyone, for all of the anniversary wishes. My husband and I are very, truly grateful. We are really, really, really thankful for your messages, your prayers, and your gift. Thank you so much. Alrighty. So we are live, and my name is Wendy Ologe. And I'm the founder of the Intentional Parent Academy. The Intentional Parent Academy is an academy for parents. We teach you how to be a parent. I know many times when I say that, people look at me. So I was at the airport recently, and somebody said, so what do you do? And I said, I teach parents how to be parents. And then the person looked at me like, really? Oh, yeah. So that's what we do at the Intentional Parents Academy. All right. So if you are here and this is your first time watching me live, let me see you put a hashtag and tell me hashtag watching streaming live. And if you've always been here, please let me have you write in the comment section. Tell me where you are watching me from. Say wherever it is. I'm streaming live from the capital city of Nigeria, where I live, Abuja. And this is from my office, not home. All right. So yes, tell us where you're streaming live from. You might be, you might actually see someone who lives in the same area where you live. All right. That's by the way. Okay. Yes. Thank you so much. All right. Omolola, somebody said, where is the anniversary cake? He's right in my office. You want some? Please come over and you're going to have them. Okay. So thank you so much. Somebody said, this is my last time on a live chat. Whoops. Whoops. Thank you. All right. Chedozeze, I see you. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming live with me. Remember, have you tagged someone? Have you tagged someone on this stream? It's going to be really, really hot. Yes, is that is the whole of the anniversary thing coming? Yes, so we're coming with fresh fire for you. All right. Yes, Mr. Chris, and shout out to all the yadas in the house. I see you guys. I see you. You guys are awesome. So today we're looking at 7 learning strategies to enhance your child's academic performance. Now, a lot of the times, one of the problems that I've seen is that parents think that the school will do everything for their child to succeed. Many times you actually find out that the school is, it's just a part of the success story of your child. And my mom is here. My mom hasn't been on the stream for a while, been busy with some stuff. And hey, she's back on our Tuesday Live. Hi, Mom. Thank you for joining me. All right. So the classroom is a place of learning, no doubt. But you must understand that learning starts from the home first. So if your child isn't learning at home, your child will struggle with learning in school as well. And when we're talking about learning, we're talking about the everyday thing you do every minute. So when we talk about learning, a lot of people, there was this erroneous thing that happened when we grew up. There were a lot of, conversation on people who were smart, people who were dumb. No, that was actually the adults in the life of those children who couldn't, put a lot of things in perspective. Hi, Mom. And my mom says, hi, Coach. Hi, Mom. Who couldn't put a lot of that in perspective. So a lot of parents and a lot of teachers, the adults in the lives of these children, didn't understand how they learned. So of course, that became a real deal. So these children started to struggle. I remember vividly, I've shared this story before. So this particular classmate of mine in primary school is actually right on our community on Facebook. And I remember him sharing a story in our community and saying how he was named dumb, and people like me was named smart. And it was actually something that I was supposed to be excited about that post because it was all about praises for me. But I was really sad when I read that post because I realized how much a lot of children were destroyed. Now, the advantage that this guy had, I talk about parenting advantage all the time. Now, the advantage this guy had was that he had parents who understood learning disabilities. And boom, you see, a lot of changes that happened. So while the teachers in the school felt that the guy was dumb, the teachers, the teacher at home, which are the parents, decided, no, my child isn't dumb. My child is actually smart. And today, that same guy teaches in one of the best universities in the world, in the UK. He's a PhD holder. And it beats me how a lot of people were actually destroyed on the altar of ignorance. So many times, our ignorance actually do not give our children the opportunity to thrive. Now, you need to, begin to ask yourself, am I giving the settings I have in my home, is it giving my children opportunity to thrive? And when I talk about the parenting advantage, I mean exactly parenting advantage that gives your children an advantage over, the advantage of having you as a parent. What will be the advantage that you were a parent to that child? I ask this question a lot of the times to the parents in the inner circle. What is that thing that will be an advantage? I always share about parenting advantage, about leadership skills. I learned quite a number of it from my dad. I've shared about being able to speak in public. I learned public speaking from my dad. So what are those advantages? To the point that when I needed to practice public speaking in my days in the USAID, I remember vividly that I didn't need to do much. People just felt I was too good. No, I just had a parenting advantage. And that was it. So what parenting advantage would your child have for having you as a parent? Last Tuesday, I said that what you know is what is going to determine how far your child will go. So the question is, what do you know? So most good students are not necessarily born, good learners. Learning is learned. The ability to learn is learned. The ability to learn, somebody help me put that in the comment section. The ability to learn is learned. So you don't just wake up and just know it. There's an ability to learn. So most good students aren't born good learners. So individual personality, your learning style, who you are, your temperament. We're currently reading about temperament in the inner circle, and the parents are wowed at how much temperament can actually affect a lot of the things that we do as a people. So it plays a big part in your child's willingness to learn, in their overall disposition when it comes to schooling and education. So you need to actually begin to understand that your child's, learnability, your child's ability to learn will be a determining factor. To that will be your child's personality, your child's temperament, and your child's learning style. All right, we've been talking about learning style for a while. So we're going to be looking at the strategy that can help you enhance your child's motivation to learn. And you will see them discover the joy of learning. Many times when we talk about learning disability, especially in this part of the world, in Africa, a lot of people do not understand learning disability. They just feel, oh, the child is just dumb. I remember that a parent shared about autism recently, and a lot of parents were like, oh, God will heal him of this ailment and all of that. So many of us are even autistic in one area or the other we don't even understand. It's very interesting. And and then that conversation turned to, oh, may his healing be complete. Oh, I smiled when I read some of the comments. Our ignorance on learning is actually really wide. And part of what we are meant to do is actually to bridge that gap. So in the course that we're launching in this month, we're going to be putting out a lot of stuff on learning disabilities, so that people will also begin to get conversant with a lot of this conversation. All right. I was telling somebody that I am dyslexia with direction. And the person was, trying to understand what I mean and all of that. So I said I struggle with understanding a lot of things when it comes to direction and all of that. And the person was looking at me. And said, the person now said, but I thought that people who have learning disabilities end up not being smart, end up, not doing this, end up not doing that. How come you were tops of your class in uni? How come you were tops of your class secondary school and all of that? And as the person was talking to me, I could see the gap, the knowledge gap. Do not parent your children on the premise of ignorance, because you're going to destroy your child without even knowing that you're actually taking them up for destruction. Who is following me? And we're ready to share the strategies that will enhance your child's motivation. If you're following me, let me see you share your best emojis. And of course, that best emoji for the parents in the inner circle will be fire emojis. I'm sure you already know that we love the fire emojis right in the comment section. Yes? So let's share your best emojis if you are following me and if you're ready for what is going to come. And remember, you need to tag a parent to see this. Remember that we say that it's not all about just raising your children well. One of the reasons why I do what I do is when I got to the understanding that this wasn't just about me and my children. It was about the world. It was about the people that my children will also end up interacting with, marrying, meeting. So this is all for everybody. If you haven't tagged the parent to this post, tag them right away. If you have tagged the parent, share a link to them. Let them join us now as we get on to do this. I love the parents in the inner circle. You need to see the fire emojis right in our YouTube community. Hey, I see you guys. Number one, the number one thing. Let's go. I can see that you guys are ready. The number one strategy that you would need to help enhance your child's motivation to learn is, number one, develop an atmosphere of reading. Develop an atmosphere of reading. Now, reading is key to success. People have argued that reading itself is key to an overall success of a human being. I have argued that reading is key to success in learning. Reading is key to success in learning. Children who develop love for reading will naturally develop love for learning. Children who struggle with reading will naturally struggle with learning. Now, a lot of people, think that the only thing that children do, get when they read is that they develop rich vocabulary. Oh, some people say, it just makes them to, speak well. That's a good thing. That's one of the things that reading does. But beyond that, reading actually helps your child's brain to learn how to process concepts and formal communication. So reading helps your child process concepts. And without the ability to process concepts, your child will not be able to learn. Let me say that again. Without the ability to process concepts, your child will not be able to learn. Now, the ability to process concept for any human being is actually what gives you that, eventual joy of learning. So now, I'm not talking about teaching your children how to cram, because which is what I see a lot of us do. So what we do, these days is just teaching our children, the children just read notes. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the joy to want to learn. A lot of us have lost it. So I have run the Intentional Parents Academy for years now, and the Inner Circle program have been running for a while. Now, the Inner Circle program, one of the key things we do is to read. I have met parents who have read nothing after they've left school, but they are 2-1, degree holders. Some of them made a first class, and they've not been able to learn after that. The reason is simple. They didn't learn how to learn. So passing an exam is not learning how to learn. So the ability for a child to learn how to learn is beyond just going to a place, passing an exam, and boom, that's it. No, we're talking about the process of concept, the ability for the brain to actually, have, create that joy of learning. Now, a lot of the things that happen to a lot of us is that there was an inculcation of learned helplessness because of the way learning was being, pushed to us. A lot of us saw learning as something wicked. Some of us saw learning as something frustrating. Some of us saw learning as something that, they couldn't deal with. They just wanted to just get it over and done with and move on. The joy to want to learn. If there's anything I'm grateful to my parents for, is the joy to want to learn. Being able to sit and look at the concept and say, I want to really learn about this. I want to read about this. A lot of us don't have that. It's important that we begin to review what we are teaching our children currently about learning. Because learning is on one side. Learning is on one side. Passing an exam is another conversation altogether. The good news is, if your child understands and have the ability to learn, the motivation to learn, you will find out that your child will naturally pass. But if your child just understands passing an exam without learning, your child will pass an exam and will never learn how to learn. So you need to develop that atmosphere. And that is what helps your children to process concepts. A parent reached out to me recently and said that she has never bought a book for the child before that is not an academic book. That worried me. That worried me. Because I don't know how it is that we want to do it. How do you want your child to learn if you do not develop an atmosphere of reading? So when you teach that, the reading, your child now develops the ability to learn on the concepts. Formal communication, reading, and a lot of the things that your children should do. How do you achieve this environment? How do you achieve this atmosphere to create the environment that gives joy to learn? Your children should not be forced to learn. If you're forcing your children to learn, there's something wrong with the system that you're currently using. And you need to undo that. Because you're going to create yet another generation who do not want to learn and just pass exams. And I don't think we want to continue that way. So many times I've seen that, you have a lot of people, all right, who, when you say you can actually start from when your child is in the stomach to start reading to them. I remember that a parent reached out to us and said, my children are not old enough for me to join the academy. So I don't need to start learning. I still have toddlers. When they are about 4 or 5, when they understand what they need to learn, then I can now join. What we don't understand is that there's something called the window of opportunity. Now, when you do not cash into the window of opportunity to teach your child what to do and how to do them, to learning, the opportunity closes. And then there's now a struggle afterwards. I tell you what happened. I shared a video of one of the parents in the academy that the 4-year-old cooks. Oh, Clara, I'm sure Clara is on this stream. And her 4-year-old cook makes eggs, fries, plantain. She shared a video with us and I shared it publicly. And then a parent said to me, there's no hurry. When my child is about 10, as far as I'm concerned, 10-year-old, that's when my child will start cooking. What we do not understand is that at that age, the window of opportunity to learn that particular skill is closed. Does it mean that the child won't learn it? No, they will. But that's why you're struggling. So when that window of opportunity closes, the struggle begins. You're struggling for your child to read because you have missed the window of opportunity. You're struggling for your child to learn because you have missed the window of opportunity. Parenting is seed time and harvest. Seed time, there's a time. There's a time frame to the things you do on this journey as a parent. The harvest, there's no time frame. So when you miss the opportunity to do the things you need to do, you will struggle eventually. I know a lot of parents who are currently struggling for not doing what they need. So if you're listening to me and you have a younger child, you're even pregnant for your child, start now. I know people who have 1 month olds who are in the academy. Start today. Don't wait until your children are 10. If you do, you will struggle. We have many cases at hand, even with learning. If you understand the concept of teaching your children to learn, then you understand exactly what it is that I'm talking about. How do you achieve this? We say you can start, read aloud early. I was telling a parent that you can start reading to your child when the child is in the stomach, and she was looking at me. Oh, yes. Research has proven over and again, and it's not just research. I had my own children, parent, that way. There's no struggle in learning in my home. None at all. Read aloud. Number 2 is buy books. A lot of parents come back to me and say, Coach, I've been buying books. Oh, my children have been tearing the books. Are you guys kidding? Like, sometimes I ask this parent, the designer bag you bought, 500K, 1 million, have you carried it forever? At some point, you tossed it at one side and then you continued. But yet, something as valuable as books, we find it difficult to. Our value system is skewed to one side. Now, I keep saying that if we cannot even buy books to read ourselves, if we cannot even exemplify the joy of learning, how do we want our children to learn? I've asked this question over and again. If you see a parent, see a book, maybe on the group or something, they say, coach, this book is 3,000. 3,000 is too much. The same parent will buy pizza, 10,000 naira, and give to the child to eat. Wow. Books. If you're listening to me, I'm not talking about giving your children tablet to read online. All those, you gave your child a tablet, child is reading. Oh, I know that my child reads books online. I'm talking about paperback books. Buy paperback books. Buy paperback books. Somebody say, please don't mind our coach. I advise that you start the academy even before you marry. That way you will choose the partner who will parent with you intentionally. I mean, that's actually the truth. Priorities. We need to thank you, Basi. We need to begin to set our priorities. See, the moment you become a parent, your priorities changes. And you must understand that. Priorities. Somebody once told me that all these books that we have in my house, are we planning to open a library? I said, yes, we are. The number of books that's currently, in my home that we've bought over the years. Sometimes we've had book budgets that we have spent. I'm not even going to, put out what it is that we budget on books on a monthly basis. That's by the way. But even if you're just starting, start from somewhere. Start from somewhere. If you can't exemplify the joy in learning, how do we get our children to read? What are you reading? How are you doing these things? Buy books. Buy books. Leave that, whatever it is, that ashwebi you're supposed to sow. Do you know the truth? Your children don't even need the number of clothes that you're buying for them. Trust me. They don't even need it. Convert that money to books. Buy them. You're not being stupid. No. People actually think that when you buy books, you're being stupid, or when you pay for a class, you're being stupid. I don't know where we get out all of that from. And then we have this mentality that, oh, okay, I'm supposed to, do whatever it is, do it however, and all of that. If you parent your children anyhow, you're going to have the products, anyhow product. That's what you're going to have. That's what you're going to have. Everything is about strategy. A time has come where we need to begin to question every single thing we do and begin to prioritize. Begin to prioritize what really matters. The same way we are told that, marriage is not an achievement. Oh, for me, it is. I don't know about you. Oh, they say, oh, parenting is not an achievement. Oh, for me, it is. And I have been able to look at it. Oh, people say, oh, friendship, I must have friends. Oh, for me, it is. Because I understand the need of man for these things. We need to begin to review our definition of so many things. That is going to really help us to actually parent intentionally the way we should. Stop crying when they tell you to buy books for your children. Stop crying when you need to buy books. You see some parents, you come out and you say, oh, must we even buy all the books? Must we even buy all the books that we're talking about? Must we buy? Must we read? Are you kidding? Are you really kidding? How do you want to learn? I like this quote, all right? I like this quote that says that by the next 5 years, you will remain who you are, except for the people you meet and the books that you read. What are you reading? Who are you following? Who are you listening to? I watch a lot of people and they say, oh, we're not. Who are you listening to? Buy books. Make it a priority. Create a budget. Toss that clothes you're buying every month. Your children don't need it. I was sharing with the parents in the inner circle recently, and I said, when my son was younger, it was one canvas, one sandal, and 2 pairs of jeans, 3 t-shirts per time. I'm sure you never noticed. I'm sure you never did. But our book budget was always greater and bigger than any other budget ever. It was priority to me. So when people come up today and they say, oh, the twins are smart, oh, they read so well, they read without trying to push them, I just smile. It is seed time and harvest. Let's move quickly. Another thing you need to do is to create family reading time. Is there a time in your home where you actually, for our home, reading books are a priority? People have argued to say that we both come from families where our parents were teachers. I agree. That's an advantage, but you can create a system like that. Growing up, I read everything Chinua Achebe wrote. Everything. I walked the streets of everywhere in the world even before I stepped my foot in those places. Before I stepped my foot in those places, I knew how the parts of the world look. It was exciting. My experience about the world was enlarged in books. In books. When I say that the skills your children will need to thrive in the 21st century is not on the screen. People argue, oh, there are things, it is not on the screen. Argue from now to tomorrow. You can't find it on the screen. Create a family reading time. As your children are reading, you're reading. What are you reading? The parents in our academy already understand that. You carry your book, your children carry their book. You also have books. And you read. Be a model. Be an example of reading by filling your home with reading materials. Let there be books. Let there be books. Let there be magazines. When my children come back, one of the things that excite them is a family reading plan. There's a time that, like we say, oh, it's 30 minutes, it's reading time, and it's 1 hour. They're excited. They look forward to it. Sometimes we're reading, and then from reading, we get into gist, and everybody talks about what it is that they are reading and tells the story and all of that. Sometimes at a go, we are on a shopping, and then my children spend, just for everything that they get, there's a budget to how many books they will buy with it. To how many books they will buy with it. Very important. Be a model, be an example of that reading. And then the last one, create an atmosphere that shows how important reading is. Create an atmosphere that shows how important reading is. Is reading a second thought? Or is reading just something that comes after every other thing has happened? Oh, we have gone this, we have done that. I remember one time we traveled and we got to the airport and there were 2 boxes full of books. And the person that was checking in said, books. You guys came to shop for books. Yes, we actually came to shop for books. I want, you want to be able to actually give your children access to the world. And books gives you that real access to the thoughts of men. Because I like the way that my pastor said. He said, wisdom is in the things that others know that you do not know. That's where wisdom is. Wisdom is not in what you know. You are limited by yourself. And I said last week that when you parent by yourself, you will be limited. When you parent by knowledge, you are limitless. One thing about developing a lifelong, learning, making it fun, developing a lifelong learner is to make it fun and not frustrating. A child who sees learning as fun will naturally develop the joy of learning. I see some parents, their disciplinary strategy is go upstairs and read. And I'm wondering, really? Let's move on. Number two, you need to allow your child to have control of their own learning experiences. The more control and input you are able to provide the child with respect to their learning environment, activities, and style, the more engaged and motivated the child will become to learn. Your child will only learn to the extent, all right? Your child will only learn to the extent that you actually are able to give them control of their own learning experiences. So how are you giving the child control? How do you even begin to give your child control? It is their learning environment. How have you given them control over that environment? Another thing is the activities that you create. How are they in control of those activities? Another thing is the learning style. Do they understand how they learn? That will help your child create an experience that they love. It's not just about you. It's not just about you. It's also about your child. How engaged are the things that you are also, sharing? How engaging are they? These are the things that will motivate your child to actually learn. Are you following, and is this class being valuable to you? If it is, let me see your comment in the comment section, and let me see you share the link with someone. Tag somebody on this stream now, and let me see you say done when you have actually done that. Because the whole idea is for us to learn all together. That's why this is a public stream. All right. So that is number two. We've talked about two. Our time is running. Number three, you need to introduce and encourage different learning styles for your child. The problem is, do we even know the different learning styles? If your child cannot learn using the different learning styles, your child will struggle with learning. Now, how do you even begin to do that? How you can do that, it's simply by helping your child understand their learning preferences and style. Because until you do that, you cannot teach your child how to learn with using other learning preferences. Using other learning preferences. All right? So you need to understand that that is very, very key. Thank you, Jumoke Divine. She says, done. So we all have that learning style that is dominant. And then we have those learning style that is a mix. But the truth of the matter is that if you want to help your child, you need to start by helping them discover how they learn. The moment my son learned how he learned, he became a superstar. As in, it was just boom, glaring. And if you teach your child how to learn, if you help your child understand how to learn. See, someone is saying, thank you for inviting me. You see? So somebody might be grateful that you just invited them to this stream. So invite your friends. Don't keep this to yourself. If you help your child understand how to learn, your child becomes, it becomes really easy for your child to assimilate concepts. And when it comes to learning style and dominant, you start from the dominant learning style. I was sharing with the parents in the inner circle, and I said that my children my children are very good with mathematics. They don't use calculators. I remember sharing this because there was a conversation on a particular tool of the day they were given to do. In that tool of the day, somebody has suggested that they would just, use an app or use Google And I called the attention to that and I said, no way, no app, no Google. Let your children be able to think. We have removed the ability for our children to think in the past years because everything is automated. Everything is apt. So we just want to, while we're doing that, our children can no longer think. The brain is no longer functional because we Google everything. And I was sharing in that session with them, and I said, my children do not use calculators. They're in secondary school. They still don't use calculators. And they do mathematics like bosses. That's the word. I'm not very good with mathematics, so yes, I stand. So forgive me if I'm making plenty noise about it. Some of us didn't do so well in math. So, and that's because, we didn't, the people that taught us didn't understand the concept. But when you hear my son do math equations, and difficult math equations, I'm like, whoa. And because he's a kinesthetic learner, he's been able to use his dominant learning style to learn how to make his learning experience even more productive. So without understanding your learning style, even as a parent, you're going to struggle with discipline. You're going to struggle with teaching your children. You're going to struggle with a lot of things. You will struggle with so much. You have struggled with so much, all right? That you would. It's just, you just need to understand that you need to know this to be able to help your child. That's just it. So, I started this session by saying that if you are going to raise a child who is going to be a lifelong learner, you need to learn how to help that child do it. How will you help your child even do it? Oh, yes. And I like Eunice, thank you for capturing that. We have moved, the ability for our children to think because everything is automated. Beautiful. You can help me put that in the comment section. All right. We have removed the ability for our children to think because everything is automated. We're no longer giving our children opportunities to think. No. And they just come and ask you, say, bring Google. The children can't think anymore. It's a problem. How do you create people who are going to be creatives? Do you know that your children have the ability to create? They are gods. That's who they are. But you are removing constantly the ability to create from them, and you're spoon-feeding them because you don't even understand that learning, the struggle of learning, is a key concept of learning. That struggle of not being able to get it. Because there's this thing about parenting today where there's so much competition. All you just want to know is that your child came first. Oh, they came second. Oh, I don't want my child to struggle. Oh, why should my child struggle? Oh, no. Well, let's just give him everything he needs for him to be able to learn. Your child isn't learning, really. Your child isn't learning by you doing that. Let your child struggle. Somebody help me write that in the comment section so you don't forget. Allow your children to struggle. The adversity quotient is one of the biggest quotient for success in life. If your children do not understand how to struggle, if your children do not understand how to struggle, they will not be able to succeed in life. So the adversity quotient is a key. It's one of the most important quotients. Let your children struggle to learn. And when they do, you can only allow your children to struggle when you understand what it means really to learn. That's why we opened up the course, Understanding Your Child's Learning Style. Until you understand how a child learns, you cannot help them learn in the other way. A balanced child who is a true learner is a child who can learn with the other concepts of learning. The struggles of learning is a key component of learning. As parents, you must allow your children to struggle. Thank you, Eunice. As parents, you must allow your children to struggle. It is a blessing for your children to struggle. True blessing. You're never going to get it until you actually be able to go through the science of success. Let your children, struggle. If you don't understand how they struggle, they will not be able to succeed in life. Yes, somebody help me. Somebody has already helped me do that. Allow your children to struggle, because if they don't understand how to struggle, they will not be able to succeed in life. The adversity quotient is one of the biggest, part of success when it comes to raising a child. So you can begin to help your child to learn better. So in that course, understanding how your child learns, we are going to teach you the techniques that will help you improve the rate and the quality of learning. So I'm not talking about the rate and quality of passing exams. I'm talking about the rate and quality of learning. When your children stand to speak, they will know that these are children who are learning. So in that course, we're going to open your eyes to how you learn, how your children learn, and how you can help them to actually begin to embrace the struggles of learning. That course, currently, we've left it at the fee of 10,500, and of course, the fee is 20,500. If you are, it started from 8,500, but you can register now. The parents in the inner circle have a different fee. For the records, if you want to join the inner circle, you want to wait, get into the waiting list, and wait till we start the next cohort. You can't join in now for those that are asking, but you can, get into the waiting list. All right, you can just, put in the comment section if you want to join the course. All right, on understanding your child's learning style, put course in the comment section. All right, put course in the comment section, and if you're watching me on YouTube, we're going to have the course link right on our description. All right, did you add it there? Right on our description. I didn't say, you need to check. Right on our description, all right? The description of the YouTube channel, you will find the details. If you're watching me on Facebook, please put course if you want to be part of this course. It is one of the major things, all right? One of the major things you need to learn as a parent is how your child learns. In fact, it's going to be one of the biggest blessings for you. If you're watching me on YouTube, you will see details. If you're going to do direct payment, you will see details on my stream. All right. But if you want to use link to make payment, simply use the link on the description. All right. So if you're watching me on Facebook, put course in the comment section if you want to join that course. So we're going to be able to teach you how you're going to help your children learn study skills, how you're going to help your children understand learning, how you're going to help your children, also understand if your child has any learning disability, so that you can actually start now to begin to work on your child. All right. And also how you can help your child do quite a lot when it comes to ability to learn. Many times when I see parents who are running kitty kata kata because their children are writing exams, I just laugh. You have a 7-year-old, you're running from your office to the home, trying to go and do assignment. There's something wrong with that process. You have a 7-year-old, you're running to home so that you can go and help your child read for exams. Are you guys kidding me? There's something wrong with that process. It means that a child hasn't even learned how to study on their own. And a child cannot learn how to study on their own except you actually understand how they learn and teach them their own peculiar study skills. This course is going to change your mindset and your mind about a lot of things, I can assure you. This course starts on the 28th of March. And as soon as it's 28th of March, as soon as it's 27th, registration ends and we go live on the 28th of March. The good thing is that you can watch replays of this course anytime. They are online. You don't need to be on site to have access to these courses. Another thing that you need to do is number 4. Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? You can use game-based learning. Now, using game-based learning is an education tool that provides opportunity for deeper learning and develop non-cognitive skills. It helps to motivate your child to learn also. One of the tools that we used for our son to actually understand the skill of learning is using game-based learning. So game-based learning was one of the things we do. What kind of games did we use? We use games like Scrabble. We use games like chess. We use games like um, um, what's it called? Lego pieces. So different kind of games. But these games will be dependent on the kind of learning style your child has. So if you have a child who is, I'm going to say that if you help me check the Facebook so that you can respond to them. Thank you. If you have a child who is an auditory learner and you do a lot of Legos, all right, your child might actually not be able to get the game-based learning style, learning access to actually learn through it. So you need to understand who your child is first before you can use this strategy. So you can see that everything rises and falls on how your child learns and who they are. Number 5, you need to focus on what your child is learning, not his performance. If you're going to be able to raise a child who can learn, it is instead of asking, all right, instead of asking your child how he did in his math exam, you have them to teach you what they learned in maths on that day. Very key. Teach you. Instead of saying, oh, how was your test? So you focus on just the performance. Focusing on his learning. Learning experience will communicate to your child that actually learning is important, more important than grades. It will communicate to your child that results are not the most important thing. Yes, as much as they are good, but they are not the most important thing. You will communicate to your child that you are concerned about him, not just about the grades and the performance. Yes, you want the performance to be good, but first, you're concerned about whether he's learning or he's not. When you focus on his learning experience, you give him the opportunity to put into his own words his lessons and solidify what he has learned. All right, for those of us on Facebook, for the course, I'm going to pin the comment, right here so that you'll be able to take details to be part of that course. All right. Remember that this early bird offer of 10,500 ends on the 24th of March, which is in 2 days. After that, you get to pay 20,500. The choice is yours. It's good. We would collect 20,500. You will get value. Even if you pay 50,000 for that course, trust me, you get value, extreme value. So we're not afraid to actually, take more than, that. So we just made it that so that you will be able to gain access now and also take the opportunity to gain access. All right. So when you focus on learning, you give them an opportunity, the opportunity to put into his words and solidify what he has learned. So you're not focusing on how he has performed. You're not focusing on grades. That's one of the ways that we parent, my husband and I. Our focus has never been on grade. We've never had yet our children actually do extremely well in school. They are A+ students. So our focus has always been, what are you exactly learning? See, when you move your focus from grades to what it is that your child is actually learning in the actual sense, your child will do better as a student. So your child begins to see learning as fun. Number 6, you need to help your child develop study skills on their own. You need to help your child develop study skills on their own. All right? So study skills is very important. If we all learn differently, part of what we're going to be doing is to give you a checklist in the course where you will be understanding the study skills that your child is using and why and how you can actually enhance that study skills. So I don't have a problem with my children studying but when my children are writing exams, I think that's my freest of my time. Because over the years, they've been able to understand study skills. They study on their own completely. I don't initiate it. I don't nothing. You can actually raise your children in that way. You can actually teach them the skills. Now, when you teach your child skills, you are actually able to do more for your child. Because your child will struggle on their own. Remember what I said about struggle. Struggle is key to learning. If your child isn't struggling, your child really isn't learning. Your child needs to struggle to understand learning. So help them develop study skills on their own. All right. It's great to understand what works for each child. So that checklist is going to help you understand what works. How my son learns is not how my daughter learns. They are a set of twins. They are 12. So imagine. I remember when my daughter started reading quite early. And I didn't understand the concept as at that time. That's one of the things that kept, sent me to going to study. I studied learning style to the point that I started to see how it even affects how we discipline our children. So our disciplinary strategy in our home is different for both of our children because they don't learn the same way. So it makes discipline easy for us. A lot of the times people actually think that, oh, you're not struggling, oh, you don't have this, you don't have that. No, it's because knowledge is the gap. When you parent by your own wise, you are limited. You are limited. When you parent by knowledge, you are limitless. There's nothing that you can actually access. And because you're too small by yourself to just raise a whole human being, you need help. Allow help you. Allow help you. I've had parents, who have moved from, hearing me speak over the years, moved from the place where they're struggling to the place where they are doing so well with a lot of their children. And, just because they submitted themselves to learn, to help. Your inability to even allow yourself to be helped is part of the concept of learned helplessness. It's part of the concept of the joy of learning not being there. So when you hear things like this, you're like, hey, what are they even talking about? Oh, allow help you. Availing yourself to help is actually a step in the right direction as regards your ability to manage yourself, your emotions. Let help you. Allow help you. There's help everywhere. Don't do yourself a disservice. Don't do your children a disservice by dodging help. It's still going to help them. All right. So allow them, teach them how to do that. Then and how you can teach your children about study skills by understanding how they learn. The next one, which is the last one, you need to focus on the strength of your child. This is looking, when you say focus on your strength, it looks like a joke. It looks like a joke when you say focus on strength. It can be a struggle, especially when your child had so many struggles academically. But focusing on his weakness, does nothing but causes discouragement, distress, all right? Distress and lack of desire to learn. So when your child isn't passing mathematics, for instance, and you're constantly hammering, you don't know anything about mathematics, oh, why and all of that. Why not begin to refocus on your child's strength? How do you do that? When you focus on your child's strength, it's another form of positive reinforcement. It will motivate that child to keep learning on other things. And I'm going to share a bonus point for you, which is number 8. Make every day a teachable and a learnable moment. This can sound overwhelming, but it's not, that part. That's like it's like something. If you're intentional, you understand that it's something that is on the go. So, what we do in the Inner Circle program is to share daily tools that help children learn daily without really knowing that they are learning. For instance, today we're doing a treasure hunt. The children are going to be learning a lot about patience, about focus, about a lot of things. But yet, they are not really, the parents are not overwhelmed with, sit down, I need to teach you, but the children are learning. So when you make every day a teachable and a learnable moment, it changes the tides for your child. So when we are out, all right, with the twins, many of the times we pass, somewhere and we say, so what do you think about this and all of that? And then there's a twist. Learning starts to happen. Learning starts to happen. So learning is every minute, every second, every moment, we're learning. Sometimes we're cooking in the kitchen and we're learning. We don't even know how much your child will learn when they learn the concept of cooking. We don't know. So we're thinking that learning is, do you know that it's been proven that children who actually learn to cook early are very good with mathematical concepts. There's a lot of calculations that comes with, cooking. So you need to ask yourself, Is my environment even suited to learn? What you do is your environment is not a learnable and a teachable environment. As you're coming in from the gate, you're screaming. Your children already know that mommy or daddy is back. There's nothing to learn when you're around. So you're constantly screaming. The moment you scream, the ability to learn is shut down in a child. No child learns when they're unhappy. Children only learn when they are happy. Nobody, in fact, learns when they are happy. So your child, the learning center actually shuts down while you're at it. All right? So you're coming in, you're screaming. The environment is so tense that your children can't learn anything. So the only place they get to learn is just the school. And trust me, it's not enough. Your children, we need to understand everywhere around them. All right? Everywhere around them is very key to their learning. Akudo, thank you for confirming that. He said, my 10-year-old cooks so well and does well with figures. Absolutely. Children who learn to cook early turn out to be very good mathematicians. It's been proven over and again. All right? So when you shut down the ability for your children to learn as you're coming in, that environment is killed. So your child isn't learning nothing. So meanwhile, the environment is supposed to be, a fixed environment for your child to learn consistently. Consistently. The question I'm going to leave you with today is, what will be the advantage of you being a parent to Folake, Michelle, Emeka, Ayo, Brian? What will be that advantage that your child would say tomorrow, this is why, because I had this kind of parent, this is why I actually became like this? What would be that advantage? Would it be advantage of what you know or a disadvantage? Some parents are actually a disadvantage to their child's, upbringing. Oh yes, quote me any day. Some parents are not an advantage, they are a disadvantage. All right? So you need to actually put that into perspective. What are you learning? What do you know? Do you know how your child learns? Do you even know who you're parenting? A lot of us do not know who we're parenting. So because of the things that we already know, we're constantly, screaming with child. When somebody does that in the morning, even in the morning, you're shouting before your child goes to school. How will your child learn? Your child is probably going to go to school, cram whatever it is that they teach. The child isn't going to learn because it shuts down the thinking brain. When you yell, the child shuts down completely. So you need to get it. You need to get it. Don't be a disadvantage to your child. Ask yourself, am I going to be an advantage or a disadvantage? Will this child say, am I, you need to reparent yourself first. If you're not going to, you will become a disadvantage to your child without even knowing it. That's where the challenge is. You will become a disadvantage to your child without even knowing that you're a disadvantage to your child. So being an advantage to your child is something you intentionally create. You don't assume it. Being an advantage to your child is something you intentionally create. You don't assume it. Inaction in itself is a disadvantage to your child. Are you doing nothing? Are you also still just thinking, what are they even saying? The children will be fine. After all, we turned out, okay, are we really okay? That's the question we ask. I ask every day. Could there have been something better? Could we have functioned on higher function? Could we have functioned on higher function? Were your parents a disadvantage or an advantage? When you think about it, really, I'm sure the answers are in your head. I don't need to answer them for you. So ask yourself, am I really learning enough to be an advantage to my child, or am I the one that is actually being a disadvantage to my child without even knowing? All those yelling, screaming, I see people say quotes like, if you don't yell in the morning, the child will never, finish early. You're being a disadvantage to your child without even knowing. That's parenting disadvantage. That's not parenting advantage. You don't assume it. You intentionally create it. The parents in the inner circle will tell you that everything about your parenting journey must be intentionally fitted in. That's the only way you become an advantage to who your child becomes tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you want to be part of the learning style course, understanding how your child learns, all right, Augustine, I didn't see any chat in the community. Okay, we'll respond to that, all right. And we also will have on the description of the video, both on the Facebook community and on the YouTube community, details on how you can be part of that course. Trust me, you want to actually start to learn. Ignorance is not bliss at all. Ignorance, would actually destroy your child and put generations in disadvantage. All right. If you want to be part of that course, you pay 10,500 within the next 2 days. And after that, you get to pay 20,500. We'll be so glad to collect that money as well. My team and I are always very glad. All right. If you decide to pay higher. All right. So you want to be in that course, please, you can just put course in the comment section, or you look at the stream. All right. And you will get all the details that you need for this course. Thank you so much. Remember that you can also book details of, you can also book one-on-one sessions with us, all right? And you would have all the things that you would access to me to share with you all of the things that if you're going to share, if you want any issues with your parenting journey, remember that we're here to help you. And hey, remember what we said. We said that you should allow help to help you. Allow help to help you. If you're struggling, reach out for help. Struggling on your own doesn't pay you. When you struggle on your own, you actually end up becoming a disadvantage to your child instead of an advantage. And talking about reading, remember that what you read and what you meet becomes an advantage, and even an advantage for your child. So we have The Discipline That Works. This is my book. You can get a copy on Amazon or reach out to us to get a copy anywhere in Nigeria. Connect to Correct. What are you reading? All right, these are some of the things that will put you in the right frame to actually create an advantage for your child. All right, the next one is From Yelling to Calm. If you're always yelling in the morning, there is a solution. Stop kidding yourself and telling yourself that everybody yells. That's not true. That is not true. Mornings are the best times in my own home. We don't scream like people who are coming from one impact. My children go to school excited every morning. So you can actually create that environment for yourself. All right. We also have Resolving Sibling Rivalry. Resolving Sibling Rivalry, all right, is one of my latest, all right, books. And I wrote it because of the things that I have seen in the society and how we think that sibling rivalry actually solves themselves, but they don't. Until you intentionally create a system that solves sibling rivalry, you don't get to see sibling rivalry results. And then we have Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro. I see a lot of parents. I saw a parent, sharing how, they reported the child in school because the child was asking another student to come and touch them and all of that. I smiled. You know what? If you do not sex educate your child like a pro, because it's not just telling your child private part and public part, trust me, your child will experiment with a lot of things. And by the time you know it, time is gone. You see all these books I'm calling, they are all books we read in the inner circle. Trust me, you want to actually reach out and join the waiting list for the inner circle. That's the best thing that can happen to you on the journey. We're beginning to say it's a proud thing. Yes. The parents in the inner circle will agree with me. All right. So we have Walking Your Child Through Puberty, the workbook. All right. So it comes with a workbook. I think there's one here. It comes with a workbook. Okay. Comes with a workbook, Walking Your Child Through Puberty. You can also get a copy to help your child. So if you have a child who already going through puberty, you want to go through it. All of the hard copies of my book cost about 20,500. Am I correct? 22,500. All of these hard copies. Trust me, it will be one of the best investments you would have made in your life. All right. You can get these books anywhere you are in Nigeria. You can also get on Amazon right now. order them and they will come to you straight away. And talking about marriage, my husband has 2 marriage books that you want to also go through. We have Building Your Marriage Plan and Husband Manual for Wives. You also, if you're somebody who is very intentional about marriage like we are, who are very intentional about marriage, taking courses yearly and all of that, you want to reach out to also get copies of this book from the Marriage Seal Academy. All right. So if you would want to be here, all right, getting these books, reach out to us. You can get these books anywhere you are. And the parents in the inner circle are saying that I came back loaded from the honeymoon. You guys are not serious. All right. So what will be the discipline that works yelling to come? 3,005, 3,005, each of them, 3,000 and 3,005. Or a single lady, which of the books you suggest you start with? Connect to Correct. Start with Connect to Correct. Start with it. Start with it. All right. That's where you begin to recreate the narratives. All right. If you want a copy of this book, reach out to us. If you want a copy of these books and you are on Facebook, just put that you need the books. We'll respond to you with the details on how to get it. All right. The parents in the inner circle think that I went for a refresher. Yes, I actually went to refresh my brain. I think I feel good. All right. Yes. And hey, I'm coming with fire for you guys. I have, that this is like a little bit. There's so many things I couldn't say here. I'm coming for you guys. All right. So thank you so much. And hey, let's have it. What was your best quote today? What was your most profound quote in this session today? Let's see that right in the comment section. You might be helping somebody who didn't start here with us or who just, sees it and get excited to actually go through the session. What was your best quote? All right. Another branded session, another fire branded session. Thank you, Coach. Hi, Chinyere Wobodo. Thank you. Thank you for being here. How long will be the course? That course is a 2 weeks course. You can always catch replay on any of them. Thank you, Jamila. Coach, you need to come to backyard and answer questions. Yes, I will come backyard and answer questions. I'm with you guys, friends in the inner circle. Those in the inner circle waiting list, will they get the books free after annual payment? No way. You pay. You pay. You buy books. And this is not all you buy in the inner circle. You buy other books. You buy books. We are book buyers. We are book buyers in the inner circle. The first baptism you get in the inner circle is the ability to spend your money to buy books. To buy books for your children. Buy books for yourself. Yes, we get you into that fire. All right? I will transfer the fire of ability to look at that designer bag and jump over it and go get books. So yes, you buy books. And you buy, in fact, you get to see that there are, too many things for you to learn, and you find yourself actually buying a whole lot of books. So it's not just my books that we read in the inner circle. For your information, we read books wide and far. All right? You will buy books. And you have an exam at the end of the year. That's the word. So Faustina, yes, prepare your money, you will buy books. We're not afraid to say that you need the books. You need the books. It's not a want, is a need. We need to understand that we need to stop being invasive about the things that are a need in our lives. Some of the things that some of the things that we've been able to put together, like when I was sharing with the parents in the inner circle about how to create friendship and systems, and I was saying to them that friendship is a need, relationships are a need. So you come out and say, I don't need friends, I don't have friends. It's a talk of ignorance. All right? Talk of ignorance. You don't say that. When you understand the need, of things, you stop being invasive. We're not invasive as parents. We need the knowledge to be able to raise our children. We need that knowledge. So why are you running away from buying books that will help you? Are you going to read the book and put it into my head? You need the books. You need to read. There's no other conversation around it. You need to read. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you just need to read. You just need to create time and read. People ask me, so you get to really read. How do you get the time to read? And I ask them the same question that I've heard my pastor say over and again. How do you get the time to eat? If you're eating, you should be reading. If you're eating, you should be reading. There's no other conversation about that. All right? Allow help you. All right? Somebody said they need a one-on-one session with me. That's fine. We're going to send details for you to book a one-on-one session. All right. Somebody said, best quote is create a family within time. Allow your children struggle to learn. I love this quote. My best quote is allow your children to struggle. Somebody said, don't be a disadvantage to your children. Somebody said, don't miss the learning window in your child's life. All right. Somebody said, all coaches' books are rich and good to start, even before you start parenting. Oh, yes. Let help you. Okay? Let help you. Thomas said, exactly, in schools, you pay tuition and you get books yourself. Oh, yes. So when you get into the academy, you go buy your books. Your books are yours. They are not mine. All right? So why is it best to start before choosing a life partner? Remember, this is not about the child. It's about the mother and the father. Absolutely. I've had fun today sharing with you. I bought books for my children last week, and I was wondering if I gave out such money for only books. Coach has infected me. Let me go and hustle for money. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If you're in the inner circle, you cannot not buy books. How? How do you want to do it? By the time I share my own budget of books with you, you will fear now. You will stand up and go and look for books for your children. Your children need to read. On a more serious note, we need this. Is a need for your children. Is a need for the next generation. Please do not sacrifice your children on the altar of ignorance. If you're having 5 children, just know that you're going to be buying books for 5 different people who have different interests and all of that. All right? Your book, go and create a budget to buy books. Don't kid yourself. Nothing comes, out of nothing. A lot of people reached out to us, my husband and I, and said, oh, you guys should have said that you prayed and your marriage became very great and all of that. Prayer is good, but trust me, knowledge is key. That's why the Bible says that my people perish for lack of knowledge, not lack of prayers. So you can pray and perish. That's the truth. That's what it means. So go for knowledge. Go for it. It's going to transform. All right? It's going to transform a lot of things. Faustina said, I can't wait. Honestly, your fire is enough. Yeah. When you come into the inner circle, this is like a small fire. The parents in the inner circle will tell you how that rose. That's how you get. All right? I got all coaches' books during her birthday promo. I feel like a queen. I've just read 2. They are all loaded. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much for joining me today. All right. And thank you again for all of the wishes. All right. Everything, the goodwill, the gifts. You guys go all out of your way. Omolala Akonwa, I see you. Thank you again. And you know why? Thank you so much, everybody, for being here again and again. We meet again at 2 p.m. Yes, once you get, it was 2 p.m. Tuesdays, we'll sit here again, teaching you on one thing or the other. But remember that you need to get help as soon as you need one. Don't be evasive about the needs in your life. And parenting is one of those needs. Do have an amazing day. Bye.